thanks so much. What a great crowd, and right on the verge of a polar vortex. Your commitment is greatly appreciated. I want to congratulate my friend JD for the big announcement on the baby that's due in July. I told him backstage. My wife Kelly's with me. Kelly, raise your hand. My wife Kelly. We have 4 children as well. We all celebrate life in word and in deed, and we're so glad that you are here to prove that. This is an important weekend. It always is, because we welcome the opportunity to recommit ourselves to this cause of life and to remember why it is we gather in March in the cold weather. It's important for us to stand together. And my friends, it's especially important this year because, as you know, this is the year we celebrate our nation's 250th birthday, the greatest nation in the history of the world. The thing that we celebrate about America, there's so much for which we are blessed and we're thankful for, but the thing that we remember, especially at this time, is the foundational truth of America, the bold statement of faith that set this experiment in self-governance, this independent country along its way. We celebrate the self-evident truth that all people, every single person is made by God. We are made by our Creator. Yes. The founders understood that we are made in the image of our Creator and that He is the one that gives us our inalienable rights, the rights to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Our rights do not derive from the government. They derive from God Himself, and we need to remind everybody of that. We celebrate that premise here today and every day because we understand that is what makes America unique and special, the idea that we are made in the image of God, and we owe our responsibility to Him as well, and we have to exercise that freedom in a responsible manner. This moment is truly an historic one for the pro-life movement, and you all know that. For the first time since Roe v. Wade was reversed, we have the White House, the Senate, and the House all working together to deliver meaningful and historic pro-life victories. And just consider, as the Vice President was saying just a moment ago, just consider what 1 year of common sense pro-life leadership can actually accomplish. With President Trump and Vice President Vance, the Republican team is making and taking a new approach. For the first time, our greatest metric of success is not just the size of the gross domestic product or highs in the stock market. It is the strength of the American family again. That's what we've brought back. We measure our success on the number of lives we save and the lives we improve and uplift with common sense, life-affirming policies. It's you, my friends, who will help us to usher in America's new golden age, as President Trump says. And as Vice President said here, Republicans are working hard to deliver on the mandate that you gave us in the last election to make it easier than ever before to raise a family in this great country of ours. And because we know that support for American families doesn't end at birth, our policies reflect this. With the Working Families Tax Cuts, for example, we passed the most pro-life and pro-family legislation that has been signed into law in decades, and we did it on July 4th last year. We worked hard, this group of legislators behind me and all of our colleagues, we worked hard to expand the child tax credit, to enhance the adoption tax credit, and we launched the first of its kind Trump investment accounts for every newborn in America. Thanks to this bill, we also delivered the largest middle and working class tax cuts in the history of this country. And yeah, that's right, worthy of applause. We put more money in your pocket, and you can decide what's best for your family instead of government bureaucrats. We also achieved something that is totally unprecedented, and it was mentioned a little bit earlier, and we should say it again. For years now, we know that Medicaid funds have skirted the essential protections under the Hyde Amendment and funneled tax dollars to abortion providers. And we said no more. And in the Working Families Tax Cut, the big beautiful bill, for the first time ever, we finally defunded big abortion, and it was a long time coming. We stand here today with one united voice to affirm the federal government should not be subsidizing any industry that profits from the elimination of human life. And today I'm so proud to stand along so many principal leaders here in Congress. You heard their names. They helped us achieve these victories. Chris Smith, as was said, for 4 decades has been leading the pro-life caucus in Congress. Just this week, Congresswoman Michelle Fischbach. Michelle, raise your hand. She introduced, She introduced her bill, ensuring federal assistance can be used to support pregnancy resource centers across the country. That's a big thing. We know how important those centers are to give hundreds of thousands of pregnant women and moms a choice in the care they receive. Another warrior, Congresswoman Ashley Hinson, passed her bill, the Pregnant Students' Rights Act, which equips young women finishing their education with the resources they need to choose life. I could go on and on, yes. I could be up here all day telling you about all of the things that are being done, but you need to know, in summary, that we are fulfilling our promises. And that promise that is central to what we stand for is to protect the sanctity of human life. We contend these warriors, and I tell you what, in the election cycle coming up this year, we're going to send some more pro-life champions here to Congress. I just want to close with this. It was mentioned earlier that we all have a reason that we march. We all have a reason that we believe so strongly in this principle, and my life story is that one. And in 2 sentences, I was the product of an unplanned teen pregnancy exactly 1 year before Roe in January of 1972. And a lot of people try to convince my very young parents that they should just take care of that problem. But I am eternally grateful that they allowed me the chance at life. I think of the millions of children that did not have that same opportunity. And every single child deserves the opportunity to fulfill their God-given potential. And it is up to us to defend that freedom and that right, that essential freedom to be born, the unalienable right to life that is imperiled in our generation. And we're so grateful that you are willing to march and stand and speak for that issue. I'm happy to say that all this is changing because of you. And despite the special interests that fund abortion, and despite the voices that tell you to look away from the beating heart, and despite all those who continue to deny the truth, you are here, and we are here, and we stand together for life. We're so grateful for all that you do. Every single one of you has the power to change hearts and minds and ultimately to save lives, and we can never forget that, and I know that you want. I want to thank you all for coming out, braving the cold and the weather that's on the way. It's worth it. We're going to save lives together. God bless you all. May God bless the United States of America.